let's check out what's going on out in Auburn, Alabama. Because the situation is very, very bizarre from what the preseason expectations were to where they're at right now. The expectations were, hey, we're headed to Georgia, we're 5-0, vibes are high, Peyton Thorne is confident, this team is confident, let's roll. That's what I thought would happen. I mean, I got old takes exposed retweeting me saying the Auburn offense is going to be better in 2024. And we'll talk about that a little bit in a second here. But I think if you're the Auburn fan base, on the outside looking in, people are saying, man, the vibes must be just so bad. I don't think vibes are negative as much as they are just confused. Auburn Tiger fans, make sure you are subscribed right here to the On3 YouTube channel. We're talking game reactions, we're talking game predictions, we're talking analysis, we're talking everything that has to do with the wonderful sport, the greatest sport on the face of the planet. Want y'all dialed in, and we appreciate y'all for being subscribed. Like, there's no apathy from a fan base like this right now. They're not saying, oh, mail it in, we're done with the season. They're more like, whoa, why is this happening? And the reason why they're saying why is because you look at what they have on this roster, it's superior to last year. A team that ended up winning 6 football games, a team that ended up, taking Georgia to the final drive, taking Alabama to a miracle kind of play. Another year under the system, more talent. Like, why are we having these issues? It's confusion. It's not apathy, which I think is a good thing. And again, going back to what I said about the Auburn offense, you're seeing good things if you're Auburn. And that sounds wild to say out loud, given all the turnovers. But, like, this is not my opinion. These are facts, okay? There's good things to take away. Auburn right now is top 30 in yards per play. They went for over 300 yards against the top 10 defense in America through the air against Oklahoma. The defense is also playing phenomenal. Like, they're allowing 23 points a game. That's impressive in and of itself, but, like, you take a look at what the offense is not doing. The offense is putting them in miserable situations. They're giving it away 1.5 times a game, and your defense still only allowing 23 points a game? Like, that's something to be encouraged by. And so, again, there's so much here to look at where you're like, okay, that's going in the positive direction. Why are we not moving in a positive direction as well? And it sounds sort of simplistic to say, but, like, I think the formula we had going into the year that we thought would be successful, run the football, be able to have Peyton Thorne be good enough to be able to get him in position to win football games. It's not all the way incorrect, but I think it was a little bit, in my opinion at least, I think I overassumed a little bit when it came to what would work in this offense. Because I think at the end of the day, man, like, you still have got to have a dude at quarterback to succeed in Hugh Freeze's offense. And that's not a knock on Hugh Freeze as much as it is just stating the facts. Like, it is a quarterback-driven system. And so if you're not able to consistently make good decisions, and Peyton Thorne, to his credit, made a lot of good decisions against Oklahoma. He had one bad one that ended up losing the game. If you don't have someone that can consistently make the good decision, it's going to be tough to get this thing off the ground. No matter how many high-profile pass catchers you have for them, you're going to continue to have a flat tire in what should be a pretty potent offense. I don't know if it's a Ferrari, but, like, golly, like maybe like a Jetta Volkswagen. I drove a Jetta for a long time. It was very, very good, very reliable. But if you get that flat tire, man, can't help you. Can't help you. So I think the path forward for Auburn here is, can you still establish some kind of trajectory for 2025? And that's not saying you mail in 2024. 2024 was always about trajectory. The record that I think most Auburn fans agreed on is like, hey, we need to go 8-4 in 2024 to stockpile more recruits, to build the roster where we want it to be, maybe go to the portal a little bit, and then, okay, we go compete for something big in 2025. 8-4 is going to be a very uphill battle. You're at Georgia this week, obviously. You have a bye. You're at Missouri. We'll see what they are. At Kentucky, Vanderbilt, you have a bye week. You have ULM, A&M, then finish at Alabama. If we're being realistic here, 2-3 right now, you're probably going to be favored in 2 of those games remaining. Not saying you can't still win some of those football games, but, like, that's the work that you have cut out for you right now. And there's a lot, like I said, a lot of positives, a lot of things to take away, a lot of, things to build off of. But at the end of the day, man, like, it's a cold world out there, and nobody cares about context when you're losing. Now, context can be accounted for when you're winning football games. You can talk about the things that are going well when, or maybe the things you want to improve on when you're winning. But, like, you lose the benefit of the doubt when you lose a football game. pretty straightforward. So looking at that schedule, I think what we've said about difficult schedules for these certain programs across the country is the same thing we'd say for Auburn. As difficult as it looks, if it's about establishing trajectory and about creating good optics, the obstacle can still be the way here. Like, let's say that you go out and you find a way to go 6-6. Okay, so you beat ULM, you beat Vandy. Did you beat Missouri, who could be a top 10 team at that point at their place? Did you beat Kentucky? Okay, that could be encouraging. You win the bowl game, you get to 7. All right, maybe the optics are a little bit better here. If you can get to 7-5, even better. That means you probably stole a win that you weren't supposed to. All that's to say, I want us to all avoid this take together, regardless of what the final record is for Auburn. Avoid the take, avoid the idea of where you say, hey, is Hugh Freeze the right guy at Auburn? Even if he's not, you won't know based on this year. Even if he's not, it would be foolish to make any knee-jerk decisions. And I don't think by any stretch of the imagination anyone in charge at Auburn is even starting to, like, this isn't even like a thought on their radar, in my opinion. But I understand now when things don't go well, it's after the first year, there's not the benefit of the doubt. People start to murmur and say, is Hugh Freeze the right guy? If you want to cut ties with Hugh Freeze, if that's your opinion, understand what you're breaking up with here. Right now, Auburn has a top 5 recruiting class in America. Right now, Auburn is working on trying to flip Deuce Knight, high-profile quarterback currently committed to Notre Dame. It's no secret. You lose Hugh Freeze, all that momentum out the window. It's all gone. Start from scratch. I also think it should be noted, I don't want to dunk on the previous regime, but let's not act like Hugh Freeze took over a furnished apartment here. Hugh Freeze, when he got there, had to culturally probably do some work, but on the roster probably most specifically had to do some work. There's a reason why 41 dudes have transferred out of Auburn in the last 2 years. Right? They had to get some bad out to get some good in. And I don't want to dunk on the players that transferred out, but call a spade here. There's a reason why they're playing some young guys right now as well. They had to up the talent level, had to up the roster talent. They're doing that right now. So stay the course. Is it fun to underachieve? Of course not. Are there good things to take away? Sure. Will you get dunked on for saying them out loud? Of course. It's the internet. But I'm just saying now, the path forward for Auburn, if you can find a way to muster up a couple of gritty W's, optics can shift quickly in college football. We all know that, so I'm excited to see how they finish. I do not think by any stretch we'll see any quit out of that Hugh Freeze team. But even so, the path forward, is it steep? Is it narrow? Yeah, still a path. Still a path for Hugh Freeze and Auburn. But at the end of the day, the last thing I'll leave you with, you need a dude at quarterback. Period, mic drop, the end. Hard Count, brought to you by our friends over at Hugh. Busy mornings, late nights, working through lunch. Life doesn't always leave room for a balanced meal. That is where Hugh comes in. This podcast sponsored by Hugh, spelled Huel, the world's #1 complete nutrition brand. It's a complete meal in seconds. Just grab, sip, and go. No more skip meals or unfulfilling snacks. Hugh makes it easy with nutrition that fits into your life. And right now, you can try it with my exclusive offer. 15% off with the code HARDCOUNT at Huel.com. That's spelled HARDCOUNT, HARDCOUNT, 15% off at Huel.com. Now, I'm not just saying this. I've really enjoyed Huel since they have sent us some stuff to try. The caffeine drinks, y'all know I love my caffeine. They do good work. This is a little pineapple mango action. 35 calories, not too much caffeine to make you jittery, but enough to solve your problems and get you rolling. Also, the meal replacement shakes, really enjoyed those. Whenever you don't pack enough for lunch, they kind of help you sustain yourself throughout the day. So we appreciate Hugh bringing us some juice on this show and bringing y'all some juice again. That's 15% off with code HARDCOUNT at Huel.com. Unlock a healthier, easier way to eat with Huel. Nutritionally complete meals in minutes so you can focus on what really matters.